Okay, alright, hey, there we are. It's nice to see everybody. Got a little bit of technical difficulties, apparently. I got my face on the webcam and I broke it, so we had to rig it up again. Okay, so we're here at Studio 2B. I am the Commish. As always, this is Wisconsin's Classiest Commish Live, coming on Thursday. The game tonight sucks anyway, so I'm sorry if you're watching this instead of the game. First, I need to give a congratulations and a shout out to Injury Reserve and Jake Dotson. No team in the history of Wisconsin's Classiest Fantasy Football League has ever went undefeated, and no team has ever lost every game. We had a couple one-win seasons in there, but now Jake Dotson will not fall into the inglorious history as being the first winless team. The Packers managed to resurrect Rob Gronkowski, and that in turn resurrected the injury reserve. They aren't out of the woods yet for dubious records. They haven't scored 100 points yet this season, and that has only happened one other time. The 2013 season, the team helmed by one Ryan Jarr. I think he missed the draft that year and got stuck with 3 quarterbacks for $125 of his $200. And so he had a hard time making it go. Although when I was entering in the 2013 stats, I seen that he almost won about 5 games. He was within 5 points in 5 different games. 2013 was a really bad season. You guys will love seeing that in the docu-series when I get to the 2013 season. Right now I am working on the very first season. Thanks everybody who has been checking out the docu-series. It seems to click up a couple of views every day or so, and I've picked up 2 extra subscribers, so that was pretty nice. I think it gives my grand total to somewhere in between 3 and 7 million, somewhere in that range. That's how many subscribers we got at Wisconsin's Classiest Commish. The other thing we got this week is it's been a busy week for trades, and that makes a whole lot of sense. There's some teams who their boat is taking on water. We had trades looking for next year with somebody who's looking to get better this year, and then we also the waiver wire is pretty picked clean, so it's going to be very hard for teams to pick up players. It's going to be really hard for them to find difference makers at this point in the season, so it makes sense that the trade that the hot stove league is starting to heat up. As always with the trades, as Commish, I try my best to get to them as quickly as I can. The software that I use, I need to use on the PC. So I'm not going to be out more than a day usually. I sit down on this PC right now at least once every day, every 24 hours. So I will get to them as quickly as I can. I am not trying to put anybody behind, and I am not trying to stave off these stave off the trades for competitive reasons or anything like that. I am really trying to get to them as quickly as I can. It just depends on what I got going on that day. Alright, then finally, this is time for the intra-divisional, the intra-divisional matchups is this week. This is the second of 3 intra-divisional weeks. The matchups are usually have a lot of intrigue, so that you can play a team that you wouldn't normally play. Last interdivisional week, the Champaign division completely dominated, and how this week will go, well, you're gonna have to stay tuned for my league picks. Okay, but first we have one true ring award. Oh, look at that! That's a glory. That shout out to Cool Cat for this graphic. This is a great graphic. This week, the one true ring award goes to Paulie, here to be Colby. Ryan Pauly, he wins his first ever One True Ring award. That's okay. Technical glitches there. It's all right. Nobody notices any of that, and that's okay. Ryan Pauly. Nobody throws garbage time touchdowns. These prime time garbage time dimes better than Kirk Cousins, and on Sunday he threw them to Justin Jefferson, giving Ryan Pauly and the H2BC a huge win and this week's One True Ring. Alright, that's okay, everybody. We're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to the We Energy Power Rankings. Okay, so there's been some movement in the power rankings. If you were to start the playoffs today, the Cobra Kai would be out of the playoffs by 2 points at this time, and there was a shakeup because of some of these wins and some of these losses. So the Cobra Kai have fallen out. The Flying Fallopians are right there sniffing it. But number 6, Big Daddy. He replaces Cuba City Cobra Kai for now. This has been an up and down season for Big Daddy, last year's champ. He's got to win this week. He's got a big matchup. That'll vault him up the power rankings if he can get the W. Number 5, we got the Ingram Toenails. He is literally hanging on to his spot in the power rankings by a hangnail. He'd been doing a lot of trades this week, really working the waiver wire, working the trade, trying to make this team ready to go. I said last week that this team is in a precarious spot. It lost a game and they should have won, and the next 3 games were going to be really tough due to the bye weeks and matchups that the Toenails had. This is still a good team, but right now they're coming in at number 5, in danger of falling off. Number 4, RG3 there yet. Quite frankly, I probably should not have this team this low, but it doesn't seem right to have him above the H2BC. He did it, guys. That crazy SOB, he did it. He called his shot. He named his team here to beat Colby, and in round 1, Pauly beat Colby. So, I got to give him up to the 3rd position. Cannot have the RG3 above the H2BC for this week's power rankings. Number 2, we have Dougie Styles. All this team does is win. Consistent. The godfather of fantasy football. Doug Hagnes has his team all kind of set up, ready to roll. Just like always, look for this guy to make some noise. And number 1, coming off her miraculous win with all backups, the only B in here. She has another tough matchup this week. If she can pull it off, I don't know. I don't see another loss in there for the rest of the season. So the only B in here is the top of our We Energy Power Rankings. Alright, so this week we got our matchups coming up for the league. Last week I went 3-3. I whiffed on myself, but I was right on some other stunners. So let's see how we do this week in Wisconsin's Classiest Interdivisional Week. In our first matchup, we have the Slaughterhouse Hams versus the Phil Lips Service. I've got the Hams big. The Service got gronked last week and still have not recovered. Probably not the first person who got gronked and was out for the next week. The Injury Reserve versus Dougie Style. The Injury Reserve got a huge monkey off their back. They partied all week. Now they're taking a nap. They'll probably take a nap right through this weekend. Dougie Style, big. The Kings Game Breakers versus Pauly H2BC. Here to beat Colby. Even after suffering the hangover from their epic win, they scored just enough to beat a struggling Game Breakers team. This just has not been the season that the Game Breakers had hoped for. Cuba City Cobra Kai versus the Ingram Toenails. A flurry of activity this week out of the Toenails, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Cuba City Cobra Kai wins by 10. Big Daddy versus the Only Bee. She pulled off a miracle last week. I mean, that was everybody on her bench. The secret sauce to her win was the garbage time hero, Kirk Cousins. He is awesome at that. Maybe one day he will win a real game and become a real boy. We'll find out. But last week wasn't that week. He played, he was exactly who we thought he was, and he sunk the Cobra Kai. This week, I don't think she can pull that rabbit out of a hat a second time. She actually has her full complement of roster back. It's just the matchups, the way they follow. Big Daddy wins this one. And now the DeWalt game of the week. RG3 there yet versus the Flying Fallopians. The Fallopians have been on fire. RG3 got boned by the Vikings in their garbage time dream team. This week, he's in a coin flip, a literal coin flip match. If I look at this, I say it every week, we have close matches. This is the closest one in my book. From when I'm looking back and forth, I think we're separated by maybe a total of 1 point. I got the Fallopians taking it. There's something for the Big Mo. The Fallopians got it. They made a big trade here to shore up their tight end position and give them kudos. I think the Flying Fallopians making a move for the championship. There, those are those great commish picks you guys look for every week. You guys, great classy owners. But right now, that's all fun and games. That's fantasy. That's Wisconsin's classiest. But here's the one that brings everybody else to the show. It's Captain's Corner.
He sailed all 7 seas to find the best information for your NFL picks. We will now set sail for the Captain's Corner, where the captain is waiting to make you a winner. Let's go!
Whoo! There we are! Yeah! Oh, Captain is feeling good after last week. We went 3-2, finally had a winning week. I know it wasn't spectacular, but along with that 3-2, we were right about that Texans game. It just didn't quite go our way. I've been really wrong about a lot of games this year, but that Texans game was not going to be a blowout, and it did not end up that way. They almost took that thing down. They should have, so that was great. So, we're coming in here off 3-2, 1-0 in the anchor picks. I'll tell you what, if it wasn't raining, that game would have been a blowout. In Buffalo. As it was kind of a blowout. I mean, it was 26, 9 or something, going into that end there. So, and then there was like that garbage time touchdown by the Bills. So 1-0 anchor pick. That means I'm 1-2 on the season. 3-2 makes I'm 6-9 overall. Nice. So we're moving on to this week's pick. Starting first, I got Cleveland -3 at Cincinnati. Turns out somebody's calling defense on third down and not on first and second down, and there's all kinds of weird things going on in Cincinnati. Everybody's jumping ship. Cleveland got a little bit of embarrassed. Cleveland's that team that is better than about half the teams, or maybe even 60% of the teams, but is way worse than the other 40%. Cincinnati is a team worse than them. They're going to beat up on them. Cleveland -3. I got Dallas in a pick'em at Washington. I've got Dallas. Listen, if it's just a pick'em, Washington sucks. Dallas has lots of talent. Who is Washington going to take? Who's throwing the ball for Washington that's going to take advantage of that terrible Dallas defense? Well, Kyle Allen? Nah. So here's the deal. This is just a pick 'em. You don't got to give any points. Dallas over Washington. Las Vegas versus Tampa. I got Las Vegas plus 3.5. Tampa just beat the lights out of Green Bay. But Vegas is coming off their bye, and I don't know if Tampa wins this or not, but is it a field goal game? Sure feels like it. I like Tampa's defense. I've loved Todd Bowles for years, but I think Las Vegas is going to do an all right job here. We have Seattle at Arizona, and I got Seattle -3 again coming off bye. We forget Arizona put up all these points, but a lot of them were on super short field. If you saw what I saw on Monday, you saw Kyler Murray wasn't very accurate. He was throwing the ball all over the place. I think Seattle takes care of business at Arizona. I think they win by 2 touchdowns. So take Seattle, and I'll give the 3.5 points. And finally, my drop anchor pick. Sploosh. Chicago +6 at the LA Rams. Here's the deal. Their Rams are playing San Francisco light this week, and I have a hard time believing that there's going to be very many Chicago Bear games this year that are going to be more than 6 points. The Rams can't get open on their own. Their wide receivers have been getting locked down. The Bears have the best pass defense as far against wide receivers in the NFL. And whether they can score or not, that's to be debatable. A sneaky play here might be to just take the under, especially if they're expecting the Rams to score 6 and 7 more points than the Bears. So Chicago +6 at the LA Rams is my drop anchor pick of the week. All right, guys. Hey, it's been a great night. Sorry we got started late. I'm sure the kickoff has already happened. Like I said, my face broke the webcam, so we had to reset everything right as we're going to air, of course. So no work got done on the docuseries this week. No work got done on the docuseries this week. Still working on scripting. I worked this week on rigging up my Halloween lights. If you can find that somewhere on Facebook, I put them up. It's not quite the way I want it, but people do seem to like them. Tonight was Eagles and Giants. Wake me up when it is over. And as always, I would like to wish everybody good luck this weekend. And remember, stay classy.